Farming in the past. Farming is when you go outside and pick fruit for a living. Farming can do anything like farming crops to farming animals. All farms have some sort of farming. Even in town, you can do anything. Farming like gardens in your backyard. They produce fruits, vegetables, meat, milk for shops in your local town. We wouldn't live if we didn't have farms. They can be dairy farms. They produce milk, yogurt, chocolate, butter, ice cream. Farming is needed for shops and animals. They had butter in the past. Over 80% of mankind's diet is provided by the seeds of less than a dozen plant species. Over the years, man has invented over machines and techniques and increased the amount of variety of crops produced. The following will be an overview of the history of farming. They will examine the major and historical cultures, the development of the tractor, and the major types of the agriculture practice today. The roots of farming began in the areas of present-day Turkey and the Middle East about 10,000 years ago. Two of the earliest settlements are known as the Çatalhöyük and Jericho. Çatalhöyük had over 6,000 BC, more than 1,000 houses. It is at this place that we have discovered evidence of map of earlier farming. People take wild grasses and using the seeds of food and planting for the next year. These seeds are now known as the cereals are make up of large percentages of the world's food supply. Jericho, like many early cities, was located around a consistent water source, a spring which produced over 1,000 gallons of water every minute. Jericho consisted about 8 to 10 acres, which is estimated that 2,000 or 3,000 people lived. These people were supported by farming of wheat, barley, peas, and lentils. Archaeologists believe that earlier settlers in this area were small groups of hunting-gatherers. Hunting-gatherers would live off the land, foraging berry and edible plants. As hunting wild animals, their types of people live in the small groups because they had to be mobile to find more foods. It was not until man began to plant and harvest crops that large settlements could be established like a Jericho. We find many of the early civilizations began along major river systems of explain settling along the Nile River, Harappa culture along the indigenous We find many of the early civilizations began along the major river system. For example, Egypt Europeans settled along the Nile River, Harappa culture along the indigenous Chinese European along the Han River, the Mesopotamians countries along the Tigris and Euphrates River. The river system provides these early civilization with a consistent source of silt from the yearly floods from the water for the crops. The slight silt is like a natural fertilizer, bringing new minerals and enrich the crop depleted soil. Farming changed very little from the early times until about 1700s. In the 1700s, an agricultural revolution took place which led to a large increase in the producing of the crops. This increases of crops came about in the large part by little more than a final destruction of medieval instructions and the more general adoption of techniques and crops which had been known for a long time. Includes in some of these changes was also a adoption of crops from the New World, such as corn and potatoes, which produce a very large variety yield. In the 1800s, the introduction revolution spilled over the farm with new machines, methods with increased production rates. Early on, the large changes were in the use of farm impacts. Most of these early implants were still powered by horse or oxen. These new implants combines with a crop's rotation, mineral and better soil preparation led to a steady increase of the crop's yield in Europe. The advent of the steam power and later gas-powered energies brought a whole new dimension to the production of crops. Yet even the recent as 100 years ago, 4/5 of the world population lived outside town or were in some way dependent or agriculture. Even in 1970s, Griggs suggested that half of the world's working population is still employed in agriculture. Thank you for listening to my documentary, and I hope you learned lots.